Hey, everybody, and welcome to another deep dive with us. Today, we're going to be looking at Black Air Force energy,
Black Air Force energy.
which I think is a fascinating topic.
Yeah, it is.
And we're going to be looking at this casual geographic video
Right.
that ranks animals that embody this energy.
Yeah, it's a fun one.
Yeah.
I'm excited to get into it.
Me too.
Yeah.
And for anybody who doesn't know what Black Air Force energy is,
Yeah.
Casual Geographic defines it as insane potential and crazy enough to deal with anything without fear or hesitation,
Yeah.
regardless of moral alignment.
Yeah, it's not just about size or strength, though.
Right.
It's an animal's audacity.
Yeah.
It's resilience, a certain indifference to the rules most other creatures seem to follow.
Yeah. Okay, so let's unpack that.
Okay.
And I think there's no better place to start than with the honey badger,
Right.
the undisputed champion of this list.
Yes.
I mean, escaping your enclosure, getting mauled by lions, recovering, and then going back to fight them again.
Right.
That's honey badger life.
That's a honey badger for you.
Yeah.
What's so captivating about the honey badger is that their fearlessness seems almost hardwired.
Really?
They take on venomous snakes, larger predators,
Wow.
even beehives.
Oh, gosh.
And not just any bees, African honeybees,
Oh, right.
which are far more aggressive
Oh, I see.
than the ones you might see in your backyard.
So it's more than just like a thick skin.
Right.
I mean, because even with that, hundreds of stings can't feel good.
You would think not.
Yeah.
You're right. It's not just about physical toughness.
Okay.
Honey badgers have evolved a certain level of immunity to
Right.
bee venom. And you think about the evolutionary pressure that creates sin, right?
Yeah.
Constantly facing down these incredibly dangerous adversaries.
Yeah.
It really speaks to their resilience.
Yeah, it's like they're saying, bring it on.
Right.
I can handle anything
I mean,
you throw at me.
yeah.
Which I guess is kind of the essence of Black Air Force energy.
It is. It's that unwavering drive, that refusal to back down, even when facing overwhelming odds.
Yeah, and speaking of defying expectations,
Yes,
the honey badger has another trick up its sleeve.
they do.
Or should I say it's a back end?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
I do.
Now-
The anal pouch.
Yes, the anal pouch thing.
Right.
Yeah, the video mentioned that.
When cornered, they can reverse their anal pouches,
Void it!
releasing an incredibly pungent odor.
Oh, my gosh.
That's a pretty effective deterrent.
I bet, let's just say.
Yeah, definitely not something you want to encounter up close.
No.
But it adds another layer to their untouchable persona,
It does.
wouldn't you say?
Absolutely.
Okay, so honey badgers are definitely tough.
Yes.
But let's shift gears to an animal that's arguably even scarier.
Okay.
The chimpanzee.
Okay.
The video describes them as furry chainsaws with PhDs,
Yes.
which honestly is a pretty perfect image.
It is a very evocative image.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what makes chimpanzees so fascinating
Well,
and potentially terrifying?
is that their strength isn't their only weapon.
Exactly.
Right.
It's the combination of physical power, intelligence,
Right.
and complex social dynamics that make them truly formidable.
Yeah, and their capacity for violence,
Yes.
even within their own groups,
Yeah,
is pretty unsettling.
it is.
The video mentions how they hunt in packs.
Yes.
They target specific body parts
Mm.
and display a level of brutality that's hard to watch.
It's true.
Do we know why they display such aggression?
It's a complex question.
Yeah.
And one that has sparked a lot of debate among scientists.
I bet.
Some believe it's purely instinctual,
Okay.
a drive for survival and dominance.
Okay.
Others see it as a response to environmental stressors,
Like what?
like habitat loss or competition for resources.
Right.
And then there's the idea that it's a more calculated form of aggression linked to their intelligence and social structure.
So it's not as simple as just saying they're mean chimps. There are deeper factors at play here.
Exactly. And it challenges our assumptions about the nature of aggression.
Right.
Not just in animals, but perhaps in ourselves as well.
Okay, so that's a deep thought.
It is something to think about.
Let's move from land to sea now
Okay.
and talk about an animal that embodies Black Air Force energy in a whole different way. The orcas.
The orcas.
Yeah.
Fascinating animals.
It's not just their size.
right.
It's their strategy and intelligence that make them the apex predators of the ocean.
Yeah, orcas are incredibly intelligent.
Yeah.
They have sophisticated communication systems,
Right.
intricate social structures,
Uh-huh.
and hunting techniques that are almost military in their precision.
Yeah, the video shows them working together to take down prey much larger than themselves.
It's true.
Even great white sharks.
Even great white sharks.
There's this one scene where they're basically playing volleyball with a shark,
I know.
tossing it back and forth until it's exhausted.
It's amazing.
It's incredible to watch.
That level of coordination and strategic thinking is truly remarkable.
Yeah.
It's not just brute force.
Right.
They understand their prey's vulnerabilities and exploit them ruthlessly.
Wow.
And what's even more fascinating is that they often only eat specific parts of their prey,
Oh, really?
like the liver and heart, leaving the rest behind.
It's like they're being picky.
They are picky.
Yeah.
It speaks to a level of selectivity and efficiency we rarely see in other predators.
It's almost surgical the way they approach it.
It really is.
And yet, despite their reputation as apex predators, there are no documented cases of them killing humans in the wild.
That's true.
That we know of, at least.
To our knowledge, yeah.
They have been observed interacting with boats.
Yes.
Sometimes even ramming them.
Yeah.
Do you think there's a reason for this difference in behavior?
It's hard to say for sure, but it could be a combination of factors. Perhaps they recognize humans as a different kind of being, not prey. Or maybe they're simply curious. Testing boundaries. It raises some interesting questions about how they perceive us and their place in the world.
Almost as if they're sizing us up.
Maybe.
Deciding whether we're worth the trouble or not.
Could be.
Yeah, and on that note, I think it's a good place to start for today.
Okay.
And we'll pick back up tomorrow with some more animals with Black Air Force energy.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, great.
All right.
See you then.
See you then. It certainly does. Speaking of mystery, let's talk about an animal that often gets categorized as gentle, but possesses a surprising amount of Black Air Force energy. The elephant.
The elephant?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
I always think of elephants as these like wise, peaceful giants.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do. It's sort of the classic image of the elephant.
But this video definitely paints a different picture.
It does.
Like, it mentions a case where an elephant traveled over 100 miles to attack a woman.
Yes.
And then later showed up at her funeral to attack her body again.
Yeah.
That's intense.
It is.
To say the least.
It really challenges our perceptions, doesn't it?
It does.
Elephants are incredibly intelligent and social animals capable of profound empathy and complex emotions. But this also means they're capable of holding grudges and seeking revenge, sometimes years after the initial incident.
Gosh.
Yeah, that case you mentioned really highlights a darker side to their nature.
So it's not just about individual elephants either, right?
It's not.
The video talks about how entire herds can be incredibly destructive.
They can.
Especially when they're driven by hunger or they perceive a threat. What's driving that?
Well, habitat loss and poaching play a significant role. Elephants are losing their homes and their families. And their reactions, while tragic, are often a direct response to the pressures we're putting on them.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
It's a stark reminder.
It is.
That we can't ignore the impact of our actions on the natural world. Okay, let's move on to another animal that might seem harmless at first glance, but definitely has that Black Air Force energy simmering beneath the surface.
All right.
The hippopotamus.
The hippopotamus.
I'll admit, I used to think they were kind of cute.
Yeah, they have that kind of
grumpy sort of way.
Yeah, in a grumpy sort of way. It's easy to be fooled by their seemingly docile appearance. But the reality is far from cute.
Oh, really?
Hippos are incredibly aggressive.
Really?
And territorial.
Wow.
And their speed.
Yeah.
Both on land and in water.
I know they're fast in water, but on land.
Oh, yeah. It's often underestimated. People don't realize how quick they can be.
That's kind of scary.
Yeah, it is.
The video describes them as obese water pigs.
Yes.
With a hardworking PR team.
Yes, very hardworking.
Which honestly is hilarious.
It is.
But also kind of terrifying.
It is a little terrifying.
Yeah, and those teeth.
Oh, yeah.
They're massive.
Those teeth are a serious weapon.
Wow.
And hippos aren't afraid to use them.
Really?
They'll fiercely defend their stretches of river, attacking anything that enters their territory.
It's like what?
Even boats?
Boats.
Boats.
Wow.
And if that wasn't intimidating enough, they've also been known to engage in cannibalism.
Cannibalism?
Yes.
Wow. I never would have guessed that.
Particularly targeting younger individuals.
Oh, gosh. What would drive that kind of behavior?
Well, it's not fully understood, but it's likely related to competition for resources.
Okay.
Dominance hierarchies or stress within the population.
Oh, I see.
It's a dark side to their nature that we're only beginning to unravel.
Oh, yeah. From one surprising aggressor to another.
Okay.
Let's talk about a bird that packs a serious punch despite its small size.
Okay.
The Australian magpie.
The Australian magpie.
Who knew these black and white birds could be so scary?
Don't let their appearance fool you.
Yeah.
During breeding season, Australian magpies become incredibly territorial, especially around their nests.
Right.
This is when swooping season begins.
Swooping season.
And they'll attack anything they perceive as a threat.
Really?
Including humans.
Humans?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
The video shows people wearing helmets.
Right.
For protection against these dive-bombing birds.
Yeah. It can get pretty intense.
And it's not just a few light pecks.
Right.
Like, they can cause serious injuries.
They can.
With their sharp beaks and claws.
Uh-huh.
It seems almost personal.
It can feel that way.
Right.
And what's fascinating is that they seem to remember faces.
Well,
if you've been swooped once.
Yeah. Chances are they'll target you again.
Oh, God.
The following year.
That's kind of scary.
It's like they have a mental list of their enemies.
Wow.
It is pretty remarkable.
That's both impressive and a little unnerving.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, speaking of birds with a bit of a reputation.
Okay.
Let's talk about crows.
Crows.
They're known for their intelligence.
Yes, very intelligent birds.
Not also for their mischievous and sometimes downright manipulative behavior.
Yeah, they're very clever.
So
crows and other corvids are incredibly intelligent creatures. They're known for their problem-solving skills, their use of tools, and their complex social interactions.
Wow.
But with that intelligence comes a certain cunning that can be quite remarkable.
Right.
And sometimes a bit unsettling.
The video describes them as what would happen if you gave monkeys wings.
Right.
Which is pretty accurate.
It's a pretty good description. They're constantly manipulating their environment.
Yeah.
And even other animals to get what they want.
They're very resourceful.
Yeah.
One example is their relationship with wolves.
Oh, yeah.
Crows will often lead wolves to carcasses, knowing that the wolves will open it up.
Right.
Giving the crows access to the scraps.
Oh, that's smart.
It's a fascinating example of interspecies cooperation.
Yeah.
But it also shows how crows exploit other animals for their own gain.
It's almost like they're playing the long game.
It really is.
But they can also be quite the bullies.
They can.
Especially to other birds.
Right.
The video shows them mobbing owls, harassing other birds for food, and even raiding nests to eat eggs and chicks.
They can be quite ruthless.
Wow.
It's a reminder that intelligence can be used for both good and, well, not so good purposes.
Yeah.
Their behavior highlights the complexities of the natural world and the diverse ways in which animals adapt and survive.
It makes you wonder what they're capable of.
It really does.
That we haven't even observed yet.
That we haven't even seen yet.
Okay, back to Africa for a moment.
All right.
Where we encounter an animal with a rather ominous nickname.
Okay.
The Cape buffalo.
The Cape buffalo.
Also known as Black Death.
Black Death.
And that nickname is well earned.
It is.
Cape buffaloes are incredibly powerful and aggressive animals.
Yeah.
Known for their unpredictable behavior.
Right.
And tendency to charge without warning.
You don't want to be in their path.
The video talks about how they have one of the highest kill rates against humans.
It's true.
Even armed hunters.
Even armed hunters.
Now, often circle back and ambush their attackers.
It's true.
Even if they've been mortally wounded themselves.
Yeah, it's pretty remarkable.
What makes them so dangerous?
Well, their thick hides and sharp horns make them formidable opponents.
Right.
And their herd mentality adds another layer of complexity.
Okay.
If one member is injured or threatened, the entire herd will defend it fiercely.
So it sounds like a recipe for disaster.
It can be.
If you cross paths with them.
Yeah. You want to give them a wide berth?
All right, we're heading back down under.
Okay.
But this time, it's not a bird.
Right.
It's the kangaroo.
The kangaroo.
I know they can box each other for dominance.
Right.
But are they really that aggressive?
Kangaroos might seem cute and cuddly.
Yeah.
But they can be surprisingly aggressive.
Really?
Especially the males.
Okay.
Their powerful legs and sharp claws can deliver a devastating kick.
Wow.
And they're not afraid to use them.
Oh.
Whether they're boxing each other, defending themselves, or even seemingly attacking cars unprovoked.
Wait, attacking cars?
Yes.
The video mentioned something about that.
It did.
Yeah.
It's bizarre.
It sounds almost like they have a grudge against vehicles.
It does seem that way.
Yeah.
There have been cases where kangaroos have repeatedly kicked and damaged cars.
Wow.
Even seeming to plan their attacks.
Really?
Yeah. It's a bizarre behavior that's not fully understood, but it could be related to territoriality.
Okay.
Hormonal surges.
Yeah.
Or simply misdirected aggression.
So they're just having a bad day.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Could be.
It's a good reminder that even animals we think we know can surprise us.
They can.
Okay, we're nearing the end of our list.
Okay.
But we've got a few more fascinating creatures to cover.
Yeah.
Next up, the zebra.
The zebra.
They might have those iconic stripes, but are they really that different from horses in terms of temperament?
Zebras are often overlooked.
Really?
When it comes to aggressive animals. But they can be quite feisty.
Really?
They have powerful kicks, sharp teeth, and a tendency to bite when threatened.
Wow.
Yeah.
The video describes them as oppressed Oreo horses with the strongest kick in the animal kingdom.
It's a very strong pick.
Is that really true?
Well, while their kicks are certainly powerful, it's hard to say definitively if they're the strongest.
Okay.
What's certain is that zebras are constantly on edge.
Why?
Due to predation pressure from lions, hyenas, and other predators.
Right.
This constant threat has made them highly alert and reactive.
So their aggression is a survival mechanism.
In a way, yes.
Wow.
It's a way to protect themselves in a dangerous world.
And their social dynamics also play a role, right?
They do.
Yeah.
Male zebras will fight viciously for dominance and mating rights, using their kicks and bites to establish their place in the hierarchy.
So it's a constant struggle.
It is, for survival and for status.
It's a reminder that even seemingly docile animals have a wild side.
They do.
Okay, last but not least, we have the Kia.
The Kia!
Now, these guys might not be as physically intimidating
as
some of the other animals on our list. But they definitely have that black Air Force energy.
They do.
When it comes to mischief and cunning.
It's a different kind of black Air Force energy.
Yeah.
Keys are a type of parrot.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Found in New Zealand.
Okay.
And they're known for their intelligence, their boundless curiosity, and their tendency to cause trouble.
Oh, so they're troublemakers.
They are. Yeah. They're like the feathered pranksters of the animal kingdom.
I like that the video calls them feathered felons.
Yes.
Which seems pretty fitting.
It does.
They're notorious for stealing food, damaging property, and generally creating chaos wherever they go.
It's true.
What drives this mischievous behavior?
Well, they're incredibly adept at problem solving and manipulating objects. They've been observed opening backpacks.
No way.
Stealing wallets. And even dismantling cars. It seems like they're constantly testing boundaries.
Wow.
Exploring their environment and finding creative ways to get what they want.
It's almost like they see the world as a giant puzzle to be solved.
Yeah.
With humans as unwitting participants.
Exactly.
And their elaborate games.
Yeah, it's like we're all part of their game.
There's a story in the video about a key that stole a tourist's passport.
I remember that.
Like, how do you even explain that to the authorities?
It's a testament to their intelligence and adaptability.
Yeah.
They're not afraid to push boundaries and test the limits of what's possible.
Right.
And they certainly don't let things like rules or human expectations get in their way.
Yeah. So I guess that's the essence of black Air Force energy.
It is. It's that willingness to challenge the status quo, to go against the grain, and to do things your own way.
Right.
Even if it means causing a little chaos.
Yeah, a little chaos.
Along the way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really has been eye-opening.
Yeah.
You know, exploring this whole world of black Air Force energy from, the savannas of Africa to the depths of the ocean.
Yeah.
We've seen how this unique blend of audacity, resilience, and a touch of don't mess with me attitude manifests in such diverse ways.
It is really fascinating
to
see how it plays out. and such different creatures.
It is. It's been fascinating to unpack these behaviors and try to understand the motivations behind them.
Absolutely.
And it makes you wonder if there's a common thread linking these seemingly disparate animals.
Yeah, what is that common thread?
Well, a lot of the animals we discussed are facing habitat loss, competition for resources, and increasing pressure from human activities.
It's true.
Could it be that their Black Air Force energy is, in part, a response to these challenges?
That's possible.
Like a way of adapting and surviving in a rapidly changing world.
Yeah, it's not simply aggression for its own sake.
Yeah.
We see how it's often tied to survival instincts, protecting their territory, their young, securing access to food.
Right.
So in a way, their Black Air Force energy becomes a tool for navigating a more challenging environment.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
It makes me think about our own species.
Right.
And where we fit in to this whole concept. Because we're animals too.
We are.
Right?
Yes.
And we certainly have our own ways of expressing dominance.
Absolutely.
Resilience. And sometimes even aggression.
Yeah. Think about athletes pushing their physical limits. Entrepreneurs taking risks. Activists fighting for social justice. There's a certain level of fearlessness. A determination to succeed that drives human achievement as well.
So maybe Black Air Force energy isn't limited to the animal kingdom.
Right.
But is like a fundamental aspect of life itself.
It's a possibility.
But there's a fine line.
There is.
Isn't there?
Yes.
Between being fearless and being reckless.
Right.
Both in the animal kingdom and in our own lives.
Exactly.
It's like there's a point where that drive, that ambition can become destructive if it's not tempered by something else.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
When does that drive become detrimental?
Right.
When does ambition cross over into recklessness?
Yeah, that's a good question.
It is.
To think about.
Yeah.
It's a question worth pondering.
It is.
In terms of our understanding of the natural world and our own behavior as humans.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's definitely given me a lot to think about.
Me too.
And I'm sure our listeners are feeling the same way.
I would imagine so.
So to wrap up our deep dive into Black Air Force energy, we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah.
Which animal surprised you the most?
Right.
And what does this behavior tell us about the blurred lines between fearlessness and recklessness? Not just in the animal kingdom, but in our own world as well.
It's a question worth considering.
So share your thoughts.
Yes.
And join us next time for another deep dive.
Absolutely.
Into the fascinating and sometimes perplexing world we live in.
I look forward to it.